He choked me and I blacked out once, but I don't hold that against him because I gave him a massive,
somehow you got
massive
sentenced.
wedgie before it. I did, and I deserved it.
Who's the next Immortal?
It's got to be, and this pains me greatly to say this as a New South Wales man and being part of that last team. I don't know if I mentioned that 1-3-0 back in 2000. Did I mention that, the whitewash?
You did mention that, at least
but it
3
pains
times.
me, but Alan Langer has been overlooked, and I do not know why. He's one of the greatest halfbacks. You look at that era, he was a standout in Origin, only surpassed, I think, by Lockyer in terms of his appearances, and he's won 4 grand finals with them. 4 grand finals. Who else has done that? That's an Immortal. Can you please tell me?
I don't know, but my guy has done the same.
Who's that?
Brett Kenny. I think the
I
problem...
love Brett Kenny too. I do love Brett. He's my childhood hero.
The problem with Alf, though, is that he's actually still playing.
He's
He's on the field as much as any prop in the game.
I honestly think is that take away from the, everyone being a bit in awe because he's so accessible when you see him out there all the time, because I can't for the life of me
He's got to be a
understand.
recluse to be an Immortal.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, I've got a recluse
That's working
for
so
you.
well for Joey Jones.
I've got a recluse for you. He never answers the phone because I try him all the time. Cameron Smith.
Cameron Smith.
I hate shitting down Alan Langer because I'm a Queenslander. I love Alf.
You need to have
But
hair
Cameron
to be an Immortal.
Smith
If you can't hold
is
your hair...
lay down
he's lost his hair, mate. He lost me.
Misère next to Immortal. It changed the game.
Look, he did.
Arguably the best player we've ever seen.
But when did he
change the game.
retire? 2020?
Well, he's got to wait a couple
He's
of
got to
years.
wait. So we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
have
he's gotta
Immortals
wait.
before that.
You want a
I don't
guy
think
who
you should.
changed the
now.
game,
I'm
a guy
saying
who changed the
they
game, the
changed the
best
rules.
attacking player of his generation, and also the man who looks most like the NRL that we now see today, Mr. Benjamin Marshall.
Benji,
The best
Immortal.
attacking
I like
player.
that. It's very left field.
Nah, he's
Also,
an enormous
the-
player.
All
but-
the Immortals so far have been Australian. Rugby league is not an Australian game.
And I'm not...
Benji Marshall
I'm not
should be
just
the
saying
first
that.
non-Australian
You
Immortal.
nominate an Englishman then?
Kevin Sinfield as well.
Sinfield.
More comps than Alan Langer.
I'm not saying
Golden
that.
Boot winner.
With Benji, I'm
Like
not saying that
Benji.
because every time they replay Benji's highlights, he stepped a certain front rower at Shark Park, and for the life of me,
You got
they
whiplash.
continually to replay.
Well, you should be on my side then. You got
That was me.
stepped by an Immortal.
Stepped by an Immortal.
Came off
No.
with a neck brace on that.
Oh, look, I don't think so, because honestly, I just don't think any Kiwi should be in an Immortal. Like, let's be honest, mate. There's that. The Kiwi team it's just not what it
They
used
won
to
the
be.
World Cup against
Those
Australia.
ferocious test match batches back in
An
the day where they were
Australian
bashing
team.
each other, and they were like, this is a competition. The Kiwi side, they wouldn't, they've got nothing there.
So
They
you're
won the
causing-
World Cup
you're-
final.
Well, you had a
2008.
shot at me for saying Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Benji's only just retired as
No,
well.
yeah,
So
Benji's
let's
just
shoot
retired.
down
I'll give him a
Benji
few
straight
years.
I'm
away.
having a
Right,
shot
a
at you.
few
Are
years.
you actually saying that we should pause the Immortal election process
fast
until
track it.
Cameron...
Fast track it. for
Fast
Cameron
track it?
Smith.
Oh.
Well, you got...
Well, he did change all the rules in the game and bend it
Exactly.
his way, so he may as well change another rule
look,
posthumously.
he may be the greatest player we've ever seen. And I love the King. I love Wally Lewis. I grew up admiring Wally. He was my hero. But I reckon Cam surpassed him. So if you're going to talk next Immortals...
He will be.
If he's the greatest player we've ever seen, get him in now.
No.
Why wait? Why do we have to wait? I'll cop all yours, but after mine. Mine goes first.
Look, I know we're supposed to argue, but I find it hard to argue with this one because Cameron Smith,
I
don't argue
is
that
arguably the best. He choked me and I blacked out once, but I don't hold that against me because I gave him a massive,
somehow you got
massive
sentenced.
wedgie
Not
before
your
it.
fault, there we go.
I did, and I deserved it.
Queensland, after that debacle on their behalf in Perth, they are no hope. Even though they're hosting Game 3, they are no hope of winning this Origin series, Reedy.
As the token Queenslander on the couch, you're playing right into our hands. This is what we want. You blokes to write us off. This is when
What
we're
are you
at our
gonna- but
best.
what are you gonna say? 'Cause you
we're
got
the
flogged.
underdogs.
Like,
we
what are you
love
gonna
being the
say?
underdogs, Jace.
You love
Bring
losing
it
the
on.
set. You had an opportunity to go 3-0 and you're saying
2-1
we
or
wanted
2,
it that way.
3-0, 2-1, doesn't matter.
We want to make
we
the
still
last...
lift the shield. It's Suncorp. You
We've got to
blokes-
referee this as the neutral
You
umpire
blokes
here.
never win at Suncorp in a decider. That's historic.
we have
That
won.
is a historical fact.
I believe we have. I think the last team was...
was
I think
about
Brad
20
Mackay
years
was
ago.
20 years ago. There you go. It happened. Did he say it didn't happen? It did happen.
It
didn't
did
he?
happen.
I have
Okay,
to
you
say, as a
rarely
neutral
win.
umpire,
Sorry, you rarely
lot-
win.
I've got very, very short memories because last time I checked, you lost, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago in Game 1? And then picked a worse team for Game 2 and somehow fluked to win because of the referee or whatever. You still think, oh, well, now we've won one game, we can never lose again. It's nonsense.
With this, we've got all the momentum after an absolute pumping over in
flog.
Perth. The
It's a
Perth
flog.
pumping, I'm calling it. We've got players coming back, And in all probability, our 14th man on the field, Ashley Klein, will have the whistle again. So,
But this is the thinking that leads
Not
you
that
to
we
lose.
need them because we'll beat them anyhow. But
This
I'm
is the
just saying.
thinking that leads you to lose. Firstly, precedent in Perth, if you will, is one game. Precedent in Queensland, lots of games, but all right. Queensland are going to put on a team, and a team will beat individuals every single time.
True story. I didn't have a great game once. I know it's hard to believe,
Just
but
once.
in Origin. and Gordon Tallis, I remember he said to me, he said after the game, he said, there's rumours that they're going to drop you. And they goes, why didn't New South Wales keep doing that? He goes, Webby has many bad games. Sorry, Webby, if you're watching.
Reedy, okay, we're talking about New South Wales and, oh, yeah, you changed everything. From Queensland's perspective, how are you going to change that? Because that was way off.
Well, you don't need to change the players, you change the attitude, the mindset. You remind them that they won game 1 and should have won by more than 6 points.
Are you
All
serious?
right? And we're back at Suncorp, the cauldron, the graveyard.
That's where
We're
love
back,
to
baby.
be. I just think it's time for New South Wales to go up there and just to say to
How long have you been
Queensland,
saying that
this
for,
next
Jace?
era
20
is us.
years?
It's all about us.
20 years?
We have been saying it for a while. I know you bring up 20 years, but I was part of the last team to win 3-0 in a whitewash. I know. I don't want to bring it up because of modesty and
And
all
he got
that,
ditched
but
the next
I
game,
was the
didn't he?
dominant front rower in that game. But anyhow, let's just keep moving on. What's next?
So are Queensland going to get a helicopter to training and drop Steedens out of it to give Cobbo and the likes a bit of a chance under Matt Burton's bombs?
We dropped a few
game
game
over.
2, it won't happen again. It was an anomaly.
And it worked out well.
It's not an issue.
The game worked out well for you.
New South Wales by 12.
New South Wales by 12.
New South Wales by 20, Reedy
Queensland by plenty.
and Maroon Mike.
England to win the World Cup, no. Queensland by 1 point, golden point.
Take one.
Guys, the modern footy player, fantastic athlete, but are they better footy players than previous eras? Now, when I think fantastic athlete, I think of you, Jason Stevens. So you can go first here.
Obviously, there's no doubt that I've kept in shape since retiring.
So are you the
That's why
modern?
I'm leaning back because I don't want my guts to hang out.
Are you the modern athlete or the?
I don't think I'm the modern. I was in that place where
Crossover period.
I made my debut at 92. You know, in terms of their athleticism, I would argue they are probably better today because they're starting a lot younger and there's so much more resources. But skill-wise, I think they're upskilling athletes to play. You know, if you look at that era, the Blocker Roach, Brett Kenny, you know, I think this was a lot of Jack and Jill in the game that they don't have now, to be honest with you.
I think the modern athlete's faster. They're stronger.
Why do you
they're
disagree with me
quicker.
all the time? Do you have something against personally?
Well, how can you say Nathan?
He thinks you're not an athlete.
Nathan Cleary would stand up in any era. He'd be as good as any player in any
Obviously,
era.
there's the exceptions. There are the
Well,
exceptions.
there's exceptions in every, but I'm saying the
Yeah,
modern
yes.
exception's a better exception than the former exception. I was a Wally Lewis fan.
Wally Lewis,
I love the
Alan-
King.
Alan Langer.
I love the King, but I'm saying as a general rule, the modern athlete is a better
It's
rugby
nonsense.
league
If
player.
you think that playing 5 days a week rather than 2 days a week isn't going to make you a better football player, even you take Wally Lewis and you put him 5 days a week training all the time, he'd be even better than he was.
No. So,
Jason,
I mean,
maybe
you look
if
at Blocker Roach and those, but you know, all these blokes that you know,
Maybe
Jason. I can't say myself, but other players like that, were, you know.
Maybe if Ryan had said to you, Jace, put the offload away for a bit.
Maybe I would've
he
won a
might have
comp.
won a premiership. Smithy might have won a comp.
No, because
Maybe if he'd said to
Fafita,
you,
very,
Jace,
very similar
no
in
more
a sense.
little offloads.
And he ended up winning.
Reedy, I look at the modern game
Yeah.
and I think there's just that lack of touch and craft from forwards and backs.
They're a different athlete now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
you
they
don't have
are.
that craft, but you still have intelligent football play. You look at a guy like Joe Suwali, 18-year-old kid. I mean, he is a superstar. He would be a superstar.
Oh,
in
you look at
any
Josh
era.
Schuster, he's still got those
Josh
old
Schuster's
hands,
got some
throws the
class.
ball around
Yeah.
a bit.
There's,
They
I
do
just
exist.
think
Yeah.
there's
They
less.
still
I think
exist.
there's less of them. And you look at like that Parramatta backline of the '80s, where they'd spread the ball from their try line after a break of play. They just the fearlessness and the way. I just think that there was a more flamboyant approach. There was still structure.
But there's also more riding on it now. You know, when everybody's working half-time as a bricklayer and half-time as a footy player, it doesn't really matter that much if
I
you
was an
lose.
accountant 'cause
Yeah.
By the way,
because I got a UAI of 96.85, but that's still like you can
But
cut
if you-
that.
if
You
you-
can cut that.
If you're going to lose your job for not winning football matches and you're kicking and chipping and chasing on the second tackle, I'm the coach, I'm going, do you maybe not want to do that? Do you maybe do that a bit closer to the line?
so you guys are in the present.
Oh, yeah,
With-
by far.
I think they're as
Footy
good as they've ever
players
been.
are
They get
better
5
and
days a
athletes.
week rather than 2 to train it. Of course
Nah.
they're going to be better.
Steve, we'll stay in the
We'll
past,
go back.
mate.
We'll go back. Grove,
He's just
Sterling,
bitter. He
Kenny,
wishes he had
Ella,
5 days a week to
Paul
train, see how good
Taylor,
he could have been.
just that era, mate.
We're off in our silver DeLorean to go.
Yeah, good
Really
luck, boys.
I love
Good luck back
DeLoreans.
there.